Welcome, everybody. It's cold, it's a cold night. I'm glad to see a few members of the public, and I'm glad to see as many councillors as it is because of the weather. Apologies. Tony Rowland is other commitments. Dick Lippiat is on holiday. Keith is maybe coming, but he's going to be late if he can make it. He's got issues. Who else is on there?
Peter Lippiat.
So Peter Lippiat. Is anybody else?
No.
Pat Hampton is ill. Sorry, Pat Hampton is not very well.
Pat Hampton's not very well.
And that might be my fault to be sure.
Okay.
Far too much time spent with him.
Oh, so Thursday.
Yeah.
I will give you thanks and praise for good events taking place in our town recently, for a light switch on event, for the Mayor's Carol service. And we pray for all those who are affected by this spell of bad weather. We ask for protection on people as they travel and carry out their daily lives. And we ask your blessing on this town council as they continue to seek to work together to promote our town. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Town Clerk's got a small statement.
Yeah.
To read.
Councillors, members of the public, I've been in touch today with the returning officer in connection with the notice of a vacancy of a councillor in the Eastwood Hall Town Ward dated the 20th of November 2017. I wish to report that on the 8th of December 2017, the qualifying date to receive a request by the public to hold an election, there has been no request received. That therefore means Eastwood Town Council can co-opt a new councillor. I ask councillors to respond to this matter at your earliest convenience.
Well,
could we ask the clerk to write the next one down in the Hall Ward to ask if he is willing to stand as a councillor, and then formal motion will be done in the January meeting, if that's the wish of this council. Following our normal procedure.
okay, noted. Declarations.
Thank you very much.
Declarations of interest.
Allotments.
Allotments. Notifications of lobbying.
Yeah.
David?
Yeah, I've been lobbied by a member of the public reference the Hazel Brathwaite presentations.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Item 6, receive and consider adopting as a true and accurate record of the following minutes. Town Council meeting 13th of November 2017. Rob?
Formally move.
Second that? Josie Martin. Yes.
Okay.
All in favour? Charlie, you're abstaining because you weren't here.
I abstain because I was absent.
Yeah.
Police update. Mr. Batchel. Council Batchel. Sorry, sir.
Thank you, it's all right. Your apology accepted. Yeah, I've got some figures here from the police. I actually agreed with Andy Browning that we should have a pre-meet and discuss these figures. Unfortunately, Sergeant Browning has decided to have a holiday. So all they've done is presented me with some figures. I managed to catch Inspector Ragg at Beeston, and we had 10 minutes on his crime figures. So I'm just going to read out what he's given me. There seems to be a little difference now in reporting crime. Malicious communications now come into the crime figures, which adds quite a few to the crime. And they've got a Operation Zeritz going on, which is looking at historical events culminating with mass referrals as crimes. So we need to get to establish a pattern here that really all we're interested in is the crimes in the north and south of Eastwood, and that's what I'm going to be working on. I've got some figures here for 1st of November 2017 to the 30th of November 2017, which is a month, and the total recorded crime is 108. The victims' base crime is 102. Violence against a person is 38. They've actually put in here, which we never had before. I think it should be recorded because it's becoming part and parcel of, you see it in the newspapers every day. We've got sexual offences in here, which is 4, and the previous 2016 is 1. So quickly going back, total recorded crime is 108. The previous for the year 2016 was 86. Victim-based crime was 102, and in November 2016 was 80. Again, an increase, 22. Violence against a person, 38 against 32, which is 6. They put here homicide. Now, homicide to me means, I don't know if Councillor Harper would do this, but homicide to me means murder squad.
Yeah.
And they've got here homicide with injury. I really don't know what and, homicide without an injury. I'm a bit perplexed with that. But with injury it says 10, so I would just imagine that this is violence against a person. 10 and 11, so that's -1. Without injury, 28 and 21, which is 7 difference. Again, I've just said sexual offences. Rape was 2. And 1 in the previous year. Other sexual offences was 2, and again, 1 in the previous month. I think at the moment we're going to continue bringing that to this committee and to the public, because, as I say, we're getting a lot of this type of crime within the news, daily newspapers, a regular occurrence, and I think we ought to know if it's happening in Eastwood. So I'm just going to keep putting that in. Burglary was 10, and the previous month was 6, so it was up 4. Vehicle offences were 11, and the previous was 1. Theft of motor vehicles, 5. Theft from vehicles is 5. Vehicle interference is 1. Bicycle theft is 1. Shoplifting is 20 in November 2017 and 16 in 2016. I'm quite surprised how low that is in a month. It is something that escalates, and this time of year I think you'll find out that in December that may rise. I'm not sure. That's just my personal opinion of knowing that what I used to do in Nottingham. Other thefts are 8, and the previous was 9. Criminal damage and arson is 10 in 2017 and 14 in 2016. Criminal damage is 10 to 17 and 13 in 2016. Would you believe arson? We've only got 1, and that was in November 2016, a year ago. Other crimes against society, and I don't know what these are, but it's 2017 is 6, and in 2016 was 6. Drug offences, which last month was 1, and 2016 was 1. Possession of drugs again is 1 and 1. Public order offences is 3 and 4. Miscellaneous crimes against society, 2 and 1. Antisocial behaviour is 24 in 2017 and 37 in 2016. ASB environmental 1 and 1. ASB nuisance is 19 in 2017 and 25 in 2016. And ASB personnel is 4 last month and 11 in 2016. So it's quite a bundle. I have a fear this is just for Eastwood.
Yeah.
I want to see it still split. They're saying it's difficulty in doing it now, but working for them, I don't think it is. It's just a guy on a computer, and he can sort this out, or he or she can quickly sort this out. So I'm going to ask them again to go back to doing Eastwood South and Eastwood North. We need to know where the area is, where concentrated crime is, and where we should and they should be concentrating on it. If you want me to go any further, I can give you the current from April 2017, from April 2016, based on the same data. Total recorded crime 17 was 683 and 599 the previous. Victim-based crime was 614 and 557 previous. Violence against the person was 196 and 2016 was 157. So we've had certainly a volume change in all three of them of 84, 57 and 39. So there is an increase. Homicide for the year with injury was 84 and the previous was 68, so that's a gain of 16. Without injuries 112, 2016 was 89, which is a gain of 23. Sexual offences were 30, which is 13 and 17. 30 in 17 and 13 in 2016, which is an increase again of 17. So we seem to be moving upwards at the moment. Burglary was 29 in 2017 for the year and 59. So we've tackled burglary. Hopefully we're going to keep it that way and keep it reduced. Vehicle offences, 56 in 17 and 42 in 16. Again, that's 14 difference, worse off. Theft in motor vehicles was 29 in 17 and 7 in 2016. So quite a bit of difference there. Theft from a motor vehicle, 29 to 32, 29, 17, 32 and 16, it's nearly even, it's only 3 difference. Theft from a person in 17 was 1 and in 16 was 5, so we've got a little bit of benefit there. Bicycle theft, this is for a year, is 5 in 2017 and 1 in 2016. This is where I thought it would be different. Shoplifting in 2017 was 123. Shoplifting in 2016 was 123. Absolutely dead equal. Other thefts, don't really know what they are, but 84 and 60, 24 worse off. Criminal damage and arson, 83 against 92, 9 better off this year. Criminal damage 80 and 89, 9 better off. Arson 3 and 3, no difference. Other crimes against society was 69 and 42, a difference of 27. Drug offences 11 in 2017, 13 in 2016. Trafficking in controlled drugs is 3 and 2, difference of 1. Possession of drugs is 8 and 11. Possession of weapons is 6, 2017, and 5 in 2016. Public order offences, miscellaneous crimes against society, 43 in 17 and 17 in 2016. That's 26 different.
It doesn't state exactly what that...
No, it doesn't, and until I can get
Yeah.
into the sergeant up here and tell him exactly what I want. We'd agreed that we would have a pre-meet and he's gone on holiday.
And I do assume that we haven't had that many murders.
Well,
Unless we move to midsummer.
homicides, as I said, they've been with injury and without injury, so they've nearly killed
Yeah.
somebody, but haven't really succeeded, according to this. Antisocial behaviour is 262 in 17 and 259, only 3 difference there. ASB nuisance was 182 and 195, ASB personal 57 and 51. I'm going to tell you, we're talking about this antisocial behaviour. Yesterday I was out with my dog on Ford Park, walking around, one or two others, and there were 2, I presume lads, they aren't holiday, there were 2 people on motorbikes, and they were racing around Hall Park playing field.
A whole little one?
No,
No.
big motorbikes. They were scramblers. They were racing around, rutting it all up. So I reported it, and as I've been saying in here, you need to ring 101 and get it on the crime history so they know what's going on. It took them 16 minutes to answer me while these guys were belting around. And I've got the phone, and they're going round and round and round.
I've had the little ones up and down the bridle path again.
So she said, sorry, when I got through, I said, can we have somebody down here? Like a resources, she said, no, you can't at the moment. She says, until I can get it. I said, until I've gone, the time you get somebody down here. Get somebody from up north, you know, get somebody here. Sorry. So they cleared up. And, you know, that to me, they could have done something about it and got down there and arrested, well, see if they've got
They shouldn't be on there, should they?
they definitely should be on there, and they caused so much ruts against it. It was really horrible. But you know, they have no shame, unfortunately. So we've got some different areas of crime. As I've said now, malicious communications are coming into crime. I need to ask them to phrasing this down so we can have the north and south, as we used to do. They say it's impossible, but it's not. You can extrapolate this information. They've got enough IT men that can, or women, and I've seen damn good ones down there, that would take 10 minutes to get this sorted out. So if you can't do it, then unfortunately it's me going to the organ grinder and asking him, so I will go to the Chief Constable and ask him why we can't have this information.
But I was saying that it's up slightly than it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, it is up. But you know, they're going to say because it's different recordings now, as I'm saying, they've got different recording criteria now, which you know, it's 683 against 599. No, it's 84.
Thank you, David, for giving the figures. I'm sorry that it's a large. I just want to report one instance. The CCTV cameras here have picked up antisocial behaviour. We have reported it to the police. At this point, I'm not releasing the images until they don't want. But you think it happened at 1:30 in the morning, young lads on a Saturday night coming home. No, this was quite a middle-aged gentleman
With a walking stick.
with a walking stick. Knocked over the litter bin, well, didn't knock it over, he rocked it out its mountains.
He walked round it, looked at it, went back, rocked it, pushed it over, then walked off down Queen's Road.
A little antidote to that, and it is quickly an antidote. In my youth, we used to go to Blackpool with the youth clubs and whatever have you, and we're coming down the pond early doors in the morning, nobody around, and my mate sees a litter bin. We'd been to watch Forest play at Blackpool as it happens, and he shouts, Joe Baker, and he kicked this litter bin 9 yards. I don't know where he came from, but this copper appeared. I don't know, to this day I don't know where it came. I'm behind some deck chairs. My mate's somewhere else. There's only one in Catchers, and he said, all of you come out. Now this is the way to do it. He hooked the chain down to the beach. He said, every bit of litter down on that beach. He said, where's your bus doing? So he told him, he says, right, I'll get you there. He says, but you now have an hour cleaning my beach up. Off you go. And he stood there while we picked every bit of litter up. Now, you know, isn't that the way to deal with it?
Human rights now. Unfortunately, when we reported it, 101, as you said, it took quite a while to get through to it. But all the lady was interested, has she stolen everything out of the bin?
Yeah.
I find it incredulous that we're looking now in the papers, and we won't know much more, but we're not going to attend burglaries probably, and shoplifting definitely. And in my time, at a big store in Nottingham, we asked them to only report the shoplifting crimes that were £60 and above, because otherwise you're just wasting our time. So it was going on many years ago.
Getting back to the bin, Monday morning, the council people who will come up and clean the streets actually stood it up, but it's still not been fixed properly. It's on 3 concrete pads, but it's still loose. Can either you or you, Tony, see if you can get somebody to actually fix it? We have tried.
Yeah.
This is because it was knocked over by, we believe, by the police subcontractors when they were doing upstairs, when their vans reversed into it, and it was leaning, but it's not been fixed as it should be fixed.
It is a Bromstead bin.
Who was that then? Who was the subcontractors?
I don't know, it's one of, we believe that was one of the bins.
Who was the main contractor? Because he's responsible. It's not the subs.
Yes, we've got that.
We've got that, I can't
Yeah,
remember what his name is, but I think it wants fixing properly, yeah? All right, appreciate that, Dave, thanks very much. Questions and statements from members of the public? Okay, very much.
Yeah, go on, Brian. I'm going to come in as a question from a member of the
Oh,
public.
yes, sorry, Brian, I couldn't see your
All
hand.
right. Right, councillors, from tonight, I'm going to approach this council from a completely different way I've been approaching it. I am going to stand up at this meeting once a month, and it's the people's time, and if I've got anything to say, or suggest anything, or bring anything up that is going to be beneficial for the town or the people, I will tell it, and I'll stand up and say it to all you councillors. And then I will give you a month and come back at the next meeting, if I have brought something up, and ask you what you think of the idea. Now, I will not go any more times to come into this council chamber and have words with the mayor or the leaders or anything else. I've decided it's far better to talk to every one of you, so as we're all reading off the same hymn sheet. You all know what the ideas will be then that we are going to put forward. Whether you like them or not, you can tell us and we will disappear. The latest one I've done, I don't know whether many of you have seen the posters around the town, but it started off as a kind of advertising project. Do you want me to keep you informed? Do you want me to bring you up to date how far we've got, or not? Totally up to you. Would you like me to?
Was it this that you put through our letterbox? That is now.
Yes, I'll give everybody one in the town, yes.
That is now in our notice boards.
Well, not the proper one, I'll give you that, but on the other one, I think you'd have to go to Specsavers to read that first.
I agree. Unfortunately, we have, because the notice boards is fairly small, we have to get quite a lot of literature in there, that we do have to reduce the size of the paperwork.
I did bring you 3 sizes, I believe.
Yeah, but we have to reduce the size of the paperwork. So hence you will see that the picture of the MP is reduced, Tony Harper's picture has been reduced to a smaller size.
Yeah.
This is right in the
Fair enough.
Sorry.
It don't make too much of a difference.
But, yeah, okay. If we've got room to get it in there with no other notice boards, because of this time of
Well, I
year,
had a
then we'll
look.
put it in that size.
I had a look before I bought you one round, and you could either get an A4 or an A3.
Well, okay.
Now, do you want me to bring you up to date how far I've got?
Yeah, can you? Thank you very
The
much.
project started, I got the idea about a year ago that we wasn't getting enough publicity from the advertiser about Eastwood. We was reading too much, Selston, Arnold, wherever. And we're going around delivering people for meals at different places and moving from one to another. They always told me, we'd like to be able to look at something, a kind of a sheet where we can go to, strangers in the town. And we're getting a lot of strangers coming in, to such as Hartwell Court, Wellington Court, and different places like that that get here, and the young lady tells me that was there, a kind of a manageress, that they're sitting there all day and they haven't got a clue where different places are they can go to. Now, it's fantastic the amount of volunteers in this area, and the churches and everywhere else, that put these 2 hours on for them. Free coffee, free tea, biscuits, cake, and they vary them, they don't clash. You can go on a Friday afternoon to the Baptist at Percy Street, you can go in the morning to the church at Eastwood, you can go Saturday morning to the church down Alexander Street. You can also go for a coffee morning, they invite you to the Wellington Court to speak to the people about what's happening. Now, I've got the idea that the advertiser agreed to save me a space in the page which is for the families of Eastwood. And he's promised me once a month, no matter how many emails I send in, he will get them on this community page for me. You've seen November's, you've seen December's if you've read the advertiser. Now to me, I wasn't getting to enough people that warranted it by the advertiser. At 19 shilling, and not a lot in it, it's a bit expensive for the people 65 plus. So then I decided to go across to the library and ask the young lady to jiggle a bit with me on their machine to give me an idea 3 or 4 different sizes that the people would be able to read if they forgot the glasses. Now you've got to look into all this. And she did very well for me. She made me 3 or 4 out, and then I got a lot more made. And I've been around, I thought to myself, where's the best places to go? Where does somebody go at least once every week? So Morrison's, I went in. I went in Lady Chatterley's. I went in the doctor's. Now, I'm probably hitting about half the community in them 4 places alone that at least get in there once a week. And put these posters up so as they could read them and probably take the diary with them and put the dates on, because it's each month that we're going to have them in for. And I have had very good reports from Lockwood Court. She says it's a brilliant idea, and I can get my people out now and tell them where to go. So we're making very good progress. Now I'm no good on a computer, but I've got 2 young ladies of the town that's told me they will put them through for me. So I've got no problem with that. Now, in time, when it's all sorted and running smooth, and it's running a lot smoother than what I thought it ever would be to put together, because everybody is being on time. I asked them for the 20th of the previous month if they want it in the following month, and the only other thing I asked them, that they will put it up in their surroundings and help the others that are also putting on. So if we've got 20 groups putting on the sheet, there's 20 at least places where people can see it, as well as the other places that we're going in. So I'm keeping you up to date because I don't want anybody out of this town to come up to some of you councillors and say, what's this all about? Now, being as I'm telling you, you know as much as I do now, and I will stand up in here every Monday and inform you how far I've got with it and what advancements we're going to make, and ask you if you've got any ideas that we can enhance it or make it better, or any suggestions. Now eventually I'm hoping when it's all up and running smooth, we can get somebody in here, the council, and it should be run from this council, to take it over, so that it can carry on then for as long as time exists. I can't carry it on for long. I might not be here. So that is my idea of trying to get the people of this town out and about. Have you got anything to ask me? Any suggestions?
Any else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I may, one of the people that Brian got in touch with was a lady called Lynn Davey, and she works at Plumtree Hall, and she does a fantastic job there, training people on cardiac, pulmonary, and she does rehab exercises as well. And all I would say is commend it to anybody who's in the town centre on a Tuesday or Thursday morning. She's there Tuesday 9:45 to 10:45, and Thursday 11 till 12. She's a volunteer, she does a fantastic job, and it would be lovely if somebody could just call in and see and congratulate her on the work.
Well, if she's got any literature, let us have it.
The literature is on that paper, sir.
Yeah, but if she's got any literature for to actually promote her own course, like there is some that we do get. Is this a photocopy of the actual paper being blown up?
What it is, sir, I get these direct to me from the people, so
Yeah,
there's
you
no
know that.
copyright.
Yeah.
So I can take it off the advertiser if I want, but I still have to make it up myself eventually, because I can't get it that deflated that people can't read it, same as the one that you've got on the front there. People's got to be able to read it, so A3 or A4 would be ideal.
That was my question. Is this a photocopy? Is this a photostat copy of the advertising?
Yes.
Just on a technical thing, the advice from the Institute of the Blind that aerial font is used and size 14 or bigger. So whenever you've got somebody doing it for you, laying it out, you can try to get that, and that will limit your amount of information you can put. But that's what the Institute of the Blind recommend for people with difficult reading. That includes me now.
Well, if it's possible, Bob, for you to come up with one for me, can you look into this and get me a copy?
No, that's just the font you'd use for your information on it, whoever's typing it up. Or what they've got to do it on the computer.
All right.
Pick Arial font and
Yeah.
14 or bigger.
Yeah.
That's when they're typing it, but as Bob said, the larger the font,
Yeah.
the less you get on paper.
You're out of my league when you start talking about computer.
All right, we appreciate what you're doing, and thank you very much for your effort.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think at the last meeting there was a bit of a brouhaha about the advertiser, and Mr. Fletcher was one of the members that writes the advertiser. You know, the advertiser will got a lot to answer for. They probably attend one meeting a year, if that, when, as it's called the Eastwood and Kimberley, they should be here every night, every meeting, reporting on the events and what's happening.
I'll just jump in there, right, Lorraine Clark, or Lauren Clark, who has been the advertiser lady who's been representing us just recently, has attended quite a few meetings. She has been off, she has been on holiday, she has been sick, but she has made quite a few meetings this year.
But the advertiser group themselves are quite a lazy group of people.
Yeah, you need to do the work.
I mean, you buy the Selston paper, it's got the same back page as the Eastwood paper. And all they do with that, they lay it up, photograph it ready for plating, change the date, change the name of the newspaper, photograph it, it's ready for plating again as the Eastwood. And this is how it goes on. And there's very little about Eastwood in it, and this is what annoys me. And as Mr. Fretton has just said, it's 95 pence now, 19 old shillings to buy that paper. And I do think that having a regular what's happened, that we shouldn't be censoring any member of the public in writing to the newspaper or writing for the newspaper. Because We are an open council. We work for the people of Eastwood. They are our masters. We're not the other way around. And as I say, they should know what happens here on a regular basis. And it shouldn't be just that ad hoc, a report this month, miss a couple of months or 3 months, another report. It shouldn't happen. And I think we ought to write to the Eastwood Advertiser, the editor, and say, look, get your backside in gear, and if you've got nobody else to come down and do the reporting, come and do it yourself. Now, that's a weekly paper, Mr. Mayor, and there's absolutely nothing in it. You remember the Colchester paper?
Yeah.
I used to print that 5 nights a week, and that used to be full of news. Half of it was a thick paper, and half of it was news, at least half of it.
Okay.
And a lot of newspaper awards.
So if any councillor has got any info or news that they want to publicise in the advertising, could you please push it through Councillor Masters, please? She will make sure it goes into the paper.
But that should apply only to councillors and not members of the public.
Yeah, it is councillors, that's what I just said, councillors. So if you've got anybody got any news or anything they want to put in the paper, can you please contact Josie and she will do her best to get it in the paper that week or at least the week off.
Can I just finish on one thing, sir? Anyone that would like to go round with me at the beginning of next month to take these posters round to all these different places, could come round with me and introduce yourself, tell them who you are, and we'll deliver the papers round. That's an open invitation to anybody, only one at a time, because we've got plenty of months to come. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Griffin. Fine.
Just a point of, for the minutes, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to commend you as the Mayor
Sorry,
for the your Mayor's civic service and carol service at St Mary's week last Sunday. 152 adults and 53 children. An excellent demonstration of the town coming together to sing carols, and I think the icing on the cake was the fact that we've got a lot of children there, and they was absolutely wonderful. But you know, it's great to see that the church is having to look at the seats, people turning up, and it far exceeded really we as the church had planned to receive. So I think it's a new success, Mr. Mayor, and I congratulate you on that, and let's hope that next time probably a few more councillors will be there as well.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for that. David, I apologise, David. You got something to add to Mr. Fretwell? Sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just going to act as a member of the public for Don Rowley, the next councillor from here, who came to my house this morning expressing his woe and the disgracefulness. It may not be that it's going to happen, but he said, you know, it is shameful that we have, he said 72 photos of the mayor in the local paper. Whether we did or not, I didn't count them. And nothing on the Hazel Braithwaite Awards. No picture, no nothing. And he finds it disrespectful to a lady who was mayor on the countless times and did a lot for Eastwood Town Council. Now you may tell me, sorry, we've done it, but they've not published it, and I'll go back and tell him that.
That is the case. There is a piece in there saying about Don Rowley, what he received.
No photos.
There was no photographs. The photographs were sent. There was photographs of himself, Don, and his wife, receiving a bouquet of flowers. They were sent.
Right.
There is a bit in the paper. The bit that was in the paper is incorrect, because made out there was two councillors and they weren't. So we have written to the advertiser, asked them to put in an apology in the next week, and that didn't happen.
And publish a photo.
We've asked them to publish the photo. We haven't really asked them, but we sent the pictures in for them to publish the photo.
Because no matter what people think, it does give credence to Eastwood Town Council. That's what we've done. We've given these people awards, and we want to highlight it to our local rag. And you know, we have people, as already stated, heading goals for Selston and God knows what. Here, that's what it says, Eastwood, and the lady comes here, and I'm sure she should ensure that that happens.
We did, Bobson, but we did give Don Rowie a personalised photograph.
We did,
Oh no, that's a look through his door. Robert.
There is one thing I'm hoping to do, which it'll be in the new year, probably early spring. I would like to get framed all the Hazelbraith awards, so on the opposite side of the passage to the Mayor's. Or if possible, if there's enough room, the mayoral awards as well. It all depends on size, and I think we've got these photos. Most of them are now digitised. There's been printed out and put in
I
frames.
think, are they on the website? I think they are.
This year's are on the website, but I'd like to get them onto an archive that anyone can actually see them from the website. Because all the individuals who had their Hazel Braithwaite and the Mayor's Award need to be having their recognition for not just the year they get it, but for all the years.
Yeah.
Because they've all done sterling work for this community.
I agree, but you know, I think as you get older, some of these people look for that recognition to be in the paper.
Yeah.
Because they want these people to know that we and them are given the accolade that they deserve for putting a lot of time in, for nothing, again, like we all do, to Eastwood Town Council. So if we could get them to
We'll
apologise and put
we'll try again.
that'd be good.
Unfortunately, we have not got a great deal of control of what they.
I'm sure you've not.
As you know, we will ring them up and we'll send Joseph.
That was my question. Do we all say what goes in or no?
We send them all the check presentations that we've done so far.
So just pick.
All the pictures of them when there's probably 2 pictures of each presentation have all gone in. Some of the groups had their own publicity there. They went in, but not all the pictures that we sent in have gone in.
As Bob was just saying, it might be an idea to get the advertiser maybe to do a page on the Hazel app, you know, now, past and what have you. Maybe that would be nice.
Well, yeah, that's possibly. Josie.
If you wanted to try again, if you can just zip as a photograph, and I'll explain,
Yes, sir.
you know, how old the gentleman is and what he's done for his school, and it was disappointing. Do you think you could recover it? You know, go from that angle.
I think we actually sent in some of the write-up that
You took the photo,
you did, and you
Yes,
did.
we did.
That was actually sent.
Yes, we did.
I'm 97% sure that was sent to the paper as well.
It was.
A little bit of write-up about each person, and all you got was, you know, the paper's in there if you want to see it. You got a bit about that big, and some of that was wrong.
We got the photos the following day.
We have sent the photographs.
I think it's because these people, I mean, normally, well, I'm not saying that really, who's going to get this Hazel Braithwaite Award will be not necessarily people that know her, but it's an accolade that's given to them from the people of Eastwood, and it should be there for all the people that want to buy the local rag.
Yeah.
Like you say, maybe a spread about it might be quite
That
nice.
was one of the reasons why I decided to change the actual award itself. Instead of being a framed paper, it was something that they could do. So anyway, we'll all try. Josie, so if we can get you the photographs.
Post, doesn't it?
Say again?
Bet Donald's an evening post, we'll get it in there as well.
Yeah.
Well, I have the evening post, so that will be interesting to see.
Okay, we'll revisit it and see if we can do it.
Okay, I'll tell him that. Thank you.
Anybody else? Planning update.
Well, no, we just got to note the report that's in front of the council. Can I formally move the report in front of you, planning?
Yeah.
Item 9.
Yeah. Noted. You want to say anything about
Chair, I know you've shown interest in planning and what we do, and David here looks at planning. I'm just going to give you an update on one of them, which was an application to build a dwelling on Mill Road, which you've obviously seen. It's come before us now 4 times. They had a planning inspector out to look at it because they asked for it, and he turned it down. They've sent it in again, and again it's been turned down. So he's had 4 attempts now, and he's been turned down, and Joseph has been turned down.
Is that, sorry to interrupt you, is that the house where it's
51
backing
on 51
backing onto
on.
that? Yeah. So it's been turned down again, is it?
Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an update for you as you ask, can we give you a regular update?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Anybody else? Right. Reports and questions.
Oh, sorry, it's
Payment schedules. Yeah.
Have you all had copies of payment schedules? Any questions or nothing noted by the letters?
The Rockland water rates, I thought that was a very good letter, Mr. Clark. Have you had any response?
No.
Diabolical, aren't they?
That will,
Well, we'll discuss that in a bit. We'll discuss that in a bit.
so,
Yeah.
payment schedule, monthly income expenditure noted.
Can I formally move it? Because this one is voted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favour? Yeah,
Assuming the income expenditure will be petty cash in that one, though, Commissioner.
yeah,
You wish to?
that's all I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
2, update on neighbourhood plan. Robert?
Yeah. I'll draw the attention to just a few areas. This wording of for 90% is exactly the same wording as what was in the draft plan. The addition of some alteration is to do with roller shutters on front of shops, which is section 715. That's been reworded. We're calling on Broxton Borough Council to bring out a policy for an open type of shutter, which I believe we actually have done. I was speaking to Stephen Saunders, my apologies, last week, and in one of the panel they are bringing something out which will cover that section. The other 2 items are sections 8.4 and 8.5, which have been added from the draft. We've now got this mapping software, I call it mapping software. I asked for their tree preservation orders from Broxton, and Broxton kindly otherwise it's written letters out of date there. And basically, all the tree preservation orders are all on private land, actually in the parks or in public spaces. None of them trees have got preservation orders on them, and I feel that really, regardless of ownership, if a tree is deserving of a preservation order, it should have it. So we're calling on Broxton to do a review. Listed buildings, which is dated from English Heritage. There again, we've got very few buildings. The Sun Inn isn't there, which we think, well, I personally think it's quite an important building for the town. And also the front of the police station, which is a fine Victorian police station, should also be protected. So, and I think there's one or two other bits of buildings around the town that could do with a review. It's not saying those buildings should be reviewed, it's calling on that there should be a review of buildings and we include more or less. But that's a thing that Roxo should do, not this council.
One question, Bob, regarding this tree preservation order.
Yeah.
Does that entail the tree that we planted for Her Majesty the Queen as well then? Yeah. Is that not protected?
No.
Oh, that should be,
Should be then.
There is no
I would have
protection
thought so.
orders on Coronation Park
Yeah.
at all.
Again, is that the box that?
It's Roxo
Yes.
matter, but we're just calling on Roxo
Yeah.
to carry out a review. So I don't think it's controversial at Roxo, I think that's the sort of thing that Roxo should be able to do in their due course. With that, I'll take any questions. The shop figure's about exactly the same as last year.
Yeah,
yeah, I've read it.
while we're talking about trees, on the Victory Club development site, in their landscape, and the trees were to remain, there was 2 or 3 very mature trees. Suddenly you've got Tarzan and his crew hanging from the trees with a chainsaw, chopping them down. So I got a telephone call, can you get us in as quick as you can? Which I did. You can't stop these guys because they swing from tree to tree and just hack it down as they come down. Talking to the developer, I said, look, on your landscape plan, these trees are remaining. Why are you chopping down? There's one old lady there who lives on the front of Nottingham Village. She was distraught because they was chopping this tree down. Yeah. And he said, we've had an arborist come to look at them, and they probably won't last for 10 years. He said they're in a position that they're going to decay. So we took the action to chop them down. But we will replace them with 3 more trees. I said that'll be 30 years before they mature. And that's how they get away with it, you know. And even a TPO, I suggest that they'd look at it. Our tree man is very good, as it happens, but I'm not sure that these developers don't find a way around it.
But this is one more.
And if they've chopped it down, they just put another one. Oh, we'll plant you a kind of mature tree, not be a whip, but you know, this lady won't see it mature. I won't. I mean.
Okay.
Can we have a full proposal second?
Can we propose
Mr.
for
Mayor,
Sorry.
I know it's not for the public to speak on this,
Why
but
you
as Paul Thurihold of Neighbourhood Planning at Roxo, all the plans come through me, and I have to say that your plan was one of the best I've seen. It was really well presented, and considering the amount of time you've been doing it, which is relatively short space compared to most of the neighbourhood planning groups, you put it together really quickly, really professionally, and it's one of the best I've seen come through.
Thank you.
Well done, Bob.
Just going to have a proposer after that. Yeah, front Bob, second. Joe. All in favour? Yeah, unanimous.
Can I just go and say what steps on then?
Yeah, keep it brief.
I'll keep it brief. This will then be packaged in with the first sections, and that will be done, well, it's almost ready. I'll just hand it to the office tomorrow. Then we're waiting for Saffron to actually come back to us. He's having some meetings, and he's promised me that before Christmas. So in the January meeting, I'll have to report what the formal position is in Broxtowe, and then I'm looking forward that it will go for public consultation with the next stage of the ladder. From now onwards, it should be fairly straightforward. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And well done on all the work you've done on it.
Yeah.
Update on banking arrangements.
The RFO has presented a report. This report was actually done about 2 weeks ago. He's been wanting to slightly further increases that are happening. He's now started the process of getting ready to be able to organise the internet site for the payments. But basically it's ongoing. We're in a situation, we've got the paying in book, and the cheque book and the debit book, and it's now getting into the next process of getting it ready to be able to get the basis where we will be able to use TSB to pay our bills. But that will take some while, because obviously we've got to make sure that the people that we've been paying out to are fully aware that we are changing our account. So there's still a long process to go yet.
Yeah. No, no report. Notification of external audit appointments for the 17-18 financial year.
You've got a copy of a report that's been received from the Smaller Authorities audit appointment concerning external auditors, and we've actually been allocated a new auditor as from on a 5-year basis from 2017 to 2022, and our new auditor is PKF Littlejohn, and they're based in the Canary Wharf in London. There is a full report there. You've got all the details and what they will charge for the various activities as we prepare the final accounts. It's all there for you to read. But basically that is the information. We're now going forward with a new auditor as from 2017-18.
By the way, it's a central government
Yes.
dictate down to councils.
Yes.
This is the auditor we've got. We just have to live with it.
We have to live with it.
I was going to say, nobody near it in London.
I know.
We've been told it's where we've got to go.
I know, that's where we've got to go,
That goes across.
Yeah.
Okay, anything on that? No. Item 11, statements and reports from Town Clerk, not covered by items above. Armors Day 2018.
Well, I'll just basically start to talk. Basically, we are in a situation that next November it will be 100 years commemoration of the end of the First World War. So we have actually been given paperwork. I've sent to you a copy of a report. You will get a copy of it. The battle's over, and that gives us quite a lot of information what can be done to actually commemorate this event. And I think, I know that Councillor Charles is going to talk to you in a few moments about one or two aspects of how we should go about this. But,
Right.
Yeah.
I was approached a few weeks ago from Greasley Parish Council. This is at Actual Armistice Day on the 11th this year. And they would like to do a joint project with us to celebrate the end of the First World War on the 11th, 2017. And they were suggesting a drumhead church ceremony on Coronation Hall. I'm a bit doubtful of that because it's November. I think really you should be looking for a hard standing area because you just don't know what the weather's going to be. What we do want to do is actually work up proposals ready for the budget in February. So what I proposed at this meeting that we have a working group, not a formal committee, just a working group. And we meet first week in January and try to toss some ideas around. What we can do as this authority. I'm personally thinking the road closure of a longer period than we normally have, but not the full length of the road closure, because that would cause problems for people easily. And we somehow have a church service, not necessarily at the parish church, but the building is a limitation is about 200. And I'm questioning whether St Mary's and how many people could be there next year, whether we may have to go outside. But I'm thinking of the area of the library and Warmore, a closed section of highway there, with a suitable infrastructure in, which we'll have to go proper quotes for. That's what my personal thinking is. But it's this working group to try to pull together some proper ideas. And I hope that all councillors can attend And we're thinking of the first meeting, the first Thursday in January.
Yeah. Could I just jump in if I should jump you, Bob? I have spoken to Alex Khan of Liberty Leisure. He is very interested in aiding us in doing something north of the borough. Maybe some funding coming from his way, but he will promise us, well, he said to us, didn't he, that he will give us some costings for staging, generators and all that type of stuff. He does it on a regular basis. He does it for the light switch on, so why not tap into his resources if we can? We'll probably also want to contact Chris Barlow from Roots Acoustics, see if he can throw any help into the pot. But as literally what Bob said, it's 100 years, well, it's on the Sunday, and everything just falls bang on. So we could really make this really quite a good event. And as for the joint adventure, I've also been approached by, on 2 separate occasions, by people from Greasley. We need to sit down and have a talk to see if that is actually feasible. I'm not sure. I think it's got its problems, but whether we can sort it out or not, I don't know. But go away, please. Think about it. And then when we come back to this meeting, if you can all come in and chip your 2 penny thing and see if we can get this going. I think we need to do it, but we all need to do it. Okay. Charlie, please, Iceland car park.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll deal with these separately, if I may, because I think they're both entirely different in some ways. Now, the Hollis, to start with, that car park isn't used when the store is closed, not for store purposes anyway. And I do feel that we should get in touch with Iceland, asking them to allow this to become a free car park, half an hour after closing time, until an hour before opening time the next day. Pointing out there's good public relations as far as they're concerned with the townsfolk, and see what they come back with. But one thing about Mr. Martin, the guy that owns Witherspoons, he started off with his vertical drinking dens, no car parks, and you went in, there were no tables or chairs, you just stood and drank to be told. He has never had a car park to any of his clubs that I can recall anyway. Never. Now, in one way, that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned, because I don't agree with people having even half a pint and getting in a car and turning the key. But certainly, if we can get in touch with Iceland and ask them if they would be kind enough to work with the town council on this one and provide that free parking at night for people who are coming into town and spending money, because it's not always people from Eastwood that are in the Lady of Chatham, but people from outside, and they're being fined exorbitant amounts of cash to park their car. And when they do come in from outside town, they might notice a shop they want to visit. They might even visit Iceland. You know, so well, let's get it moving, and let's ask Iceland if they will agree to that free period when the store is closed.
Okay. Can I just jump in there, Charlie, if you don't mind? Yes, we will write to Iceland, and I'll get Chris to write to Iceland. Unfortunately, both Iceland and the Hollies their car parks are run by private companies.
I know that.
So that's why your prices, your fines and everything are absorbent.
Yeah.
And neither of them accept blue badge holders. Whether there's anything we can do about it or not, but well, private land, isn't it? Do what you like, can't they, to a certain degree? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm coming in with Charlie there, but aren't the car parking spaces down the side of Weatherspoons, aren't they after certain hours free for people that's attending there? I'm parking there, and I know you're fine.
I don't know.
I understand not.
Well, I thought they got about 20 car parking spaces that's allocated.
I understand not. Me personally, I never park in Iceland and I never park in Hollis.
Do you access it from Iceland gates?
That's the only way you can get.
Well, that's where the camera's taking you.
Well, the camera's on that little wedge where the loading bay is. Is it?
Well, I don't know, to be honest,
Oh,
but
yeah.
generally it's over the door, that's
It's
what's
probably more than one.
yeah.
It's probably more than one
I'm
camera.
going down that hall.
It's big.
Two
Well,
cameras.
It's been done all two times.
It's probably two cameras.
There's one at the front and one at the back.
So even a bit at the back, it's quite there. I agree with what you say, Charlie. That's a valid point. They should be, once the shop is shut, they should be free.
Yeah.
So we will write to them. I'm assuming that you're right about the Hollies is probably the same.
Well, the Hollies is a different kettle of fish altogether. There was 140,000 pounds of public money spent on resurfacing that, and we had no contribution whatsoever from Mr. Ellison, the guy that owned it at the time.
So he's had a couple of times since then.
I said at the time that that should have been put under a compulsory purchase order for the good of the community. I don't think we'll get that, not now. I do feel that we ought to write to this guy and say, look, can you, or not us, but Broxton should write them. I said, can you bring your charges into line with Broxton's? And you'll probably find that you get more people use the car park, more people will probably pay to use the car park, and
Well, actually, the Hollies car park during the day is fairly well used, to be honest.
well, I mean,
I never use it because it wouldn't pay that amount of money, but I think it's fairly well used. And there is a lot of people, we've had a lot of complaints in here, in the office.
Yeah.
There's 3 car parks, or 3 parking places in Eastwood where we've had complaints on Iceland, Hollies, and the bit of land which is back of Diamond Nails. That is now permit parking only, and that is £100 fine if you're walking out without a permit. And it's private land.
if you see, this guy that owns the Hollies now, he killed the market.
Yeah.
I
And it's
wanted
still on
to
shop
charge
lights as well.
London rates for the market.
Yeah.
You can't do that in provincial.
Right, the guy in the chippy, he's jacked in because you can't afford the rates, or don't want to pay the charges. The shop next to the chippy is also empty now. The guy in the fruit and veg shop, he's now gone, he's now been taken over by some other people. That shop's gone downhill since the
Charity
guy
shop.
left. And the other 2 is Bargain Booze, the Bookies, and I think it's a charity shop left, and that's all what's left in the Hollies now. And the guy is, as far as I'm aware, the guy is, as you say, quite right, he charges London rates. He's also pays a private company to go and clear out the back, because we've had a lot of complaints over the months with people dumping around there. So he has that cleaned out every so often. But whatever it costs him to have that cleared out, he puts on to the shopkeepers.
Yeah.
All right, Dave?
Just one comment on that, Charlie.
Yeah.
And David will back me up here, the mayor. He wanted to charge us money to put the Christmas lights paraphernalia on there.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
Yeah.
He,
I'll not tell you how much money he wanted, but that's what he wanted to do.
Liberty Leisure had great difficulty in getting permission to put our Christmas light switch on in that. The guy wanted absorbing that amount of money. We managed to get it free, but he wanted to charge us for that, and that would put
He
Well,
makes
we
the
wouldn't use it.
corkscrew look straight.
Well, you wouldn't have put, that'd have been that much we wouldn't have put on, Ken.
Can I say on ours, I don't know whether they repaired the machine yet, but over the last few weeks, it was all super glued up. So it wasn't working. But I found out since that the cameras have been catching people in there and still doing them.
That's right, yeah.
But the people that go into the car park can't use the machine because it's frozen. But they're still charging them, so they're still trying to do it for
Yeah, I had,
parking.
a lady complained to me that her husband dropped her off, she went to work, he turned round in the Hollis car park and got fined 5 hours. Yeah, going back to your point, Charlie, yeah, I'll get Chris to write to them. We'll write to the guy in London if we can find his address again, but it's very difficult to move. And then we'll ask the question, but
I'll pass the Hollies on to Broxton, as they can make that suggestion. They probably know where he's hiding. They probably know because they get his business rates.
well,
paid through
we've
Broxton.
got his address. He's Ben Frank West. It's a really funny name, and he's very rarely in the country. He's normally in America.
Can I just add something?
Yes. Yeah.
Can I just add something that the car park on Wellington Street, which is permit only to residents,
That's right.
all day long, if you see more than 2 or 3 cars in there all day, you'll be lucky. Now that's parking spaces East was losing for the shoppers. Can't we get on touch with Broxton and try to find out what we can do about it? Because I found out, but it happens on our street anyway, where I live, that the cars that's got the permits are parking on our street anyway, so they don't use the car park.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there's numerous spaces in that car park that's not being used all day long.
Might be worth chasing.
Yeah.
This has cropped up before.
Yeah.
It's cropped up before.
We
And there's been
re-raise it, please.
issues with permits, and Broxton say they can't do anything.
No, but they're parking
The
on
fact that
the
they
street.
don't use it,
It's a housing
you'd
car
think
park.
they'd be able to chase them up, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, surely if you don't use it, you lose the permit then.
No?
Well,
Well, if you,
are Broxton going to do that?
I don't know.
You didn't give me that impression.
can you
Ask
can you ask a question, please? Or I'll
Yeah,
go back
that's what I'm saying, I did chase it up to
Yeah.
somebody else who bought it, because
Can-
it's never full. just
can I
like
ask
the
you,
words
Joe,
just
sir?
said.
The amount of number of car parking spaces in the car park, how many people have actually got permits?
Well, he told me they were all taken.
I don't think they are.
Oh, well, clarify.
No, but could you find
See if we
out?
can get some
Could you
figures.
find out?
Bob,
Can all 4 councillors present try to take this forward? There's Councillor Harper as well in the audience, and see if it can be designated permit holders for one section of the day and unrestricted on other sections of the day.
That does happen elsewhere, Bob, doesn't it?
Yeah.
well, that's some of the shopkeepers before we park.
Well, they all park on Victoria Street
Oh,
anyway.
Well,
If that
we-
change in regulations can happen, it can be a way forward.
Okay. So we'll do that, then you've got that.
The more parking spaces we've got, the better for people
Okay,
who
agree with you.
run shops and stuff.
All right.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Okay, mate, pleasure. Right, Duffield Road allotment update.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't see it.
Yeah, just coming back on that very quickly, if people are parking in there without the permit, it is the guys who are walking around here, the wardens,
Yeah.
to go and ticket them.
Yeah.
And they should be going and ticketing. And no problem about that. And can I assure you, Chair, that the Borough Councillors of Eastwood are quite capable of sorting that out. That's right.
Okay. Okay. Duffield Road allotment update.
As you all know, Jacob, this has been going on now since July, a matter where we're trying to sort out the problems of the water bill at Dovecot Road. Now, at our last meeting, the gentleman in the audience did actually recommend that we actually go onto a Resolver website, which I have done, and we've got a response back last week on our second option. But bear in mind, on the 31st of October, we did meet Severn Trent Water on site
We explained to them the Water Plus were not being very helpful, or sending us bills that were not relevant, that were not using the right data, and they said they'll sort it out. Then we met on the 31st of October. They took the details of the actual serial number of the actual water meter, so they get the correct water meter to do the charge. They took the reading, and they said they'll come back. Well, nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. Then this last week, we received this letter on the Resolver website, which says, although we have visited the site recently, your account is no longer with us. It is closed. As previously advised, you need to contact Water Plus directly to discuss your concerns. Any questions or issues you may have going forward should be made to your retailer. Severn Trent Water is no longer billing you all your bills and will come directly from your retailer, Water Plus. I'm sorry that we do not have access to your account. But as I say, 30th of October, they're going to help us. We're explaining the problem we've got with Water Plus, and we're now in a situation where we're going to a higher status on this website, explaining all this and moving it forward. After this particular raised profile, we then get to the point where we'll get to the Ombudsman. So that is really the update. We're in a situation where we're still getting nowhere whatsoever. It's been going on since July. I think Councillor...
Thank you very much for your help on that.
Well, yeah.
Really appreciate you coming in, sitting with Chris, going through it, forming on the line.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that.
Yeah. I think we've got to the stage now where we've got to have a meeting, and I think Councillor would like to make you want to say something at the meeting, didn't you, about this?
Well, what I've suggested in, I've seen them up at Duck last week again, had words. People stopped me up there, talked about it. But what I said to Chris is we need to arrange a meeting with them, put all the information on the table of where we are, how far we've got, what sticking points we are having, and put it to them, so they know exactly where we're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumours are going about that we're not doing nothing, we're telling lies, they're hiding something from us. We've got all the data and everything else, so we know what's going on. But we need to have a meeting with them, just say, look, this is the stage where we're at, and sit down with them and discuss it with them instead of all these rumours and things that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's what we're hoping to set up in January.
In January, in January.
We won't have time to, for us, yourself, David, myself, Chris, and whoever, to have a look through and get it in our own heads what's gone wrong, where it's going wrong. Once you do that, you know, I did promise I'd do we would have a meeting. I know it's taken longer than what we all anticipated to do. But first couple of weeks in January, if we're available, we'll set that up. And we'll do that.
Well, we need to set it up and inform people where we are and what's going on.
We probably don't want every allotment holder.
No,
just
representatives.
Just the representatives. And that'll be Duffett Road only.
That's right. And we have to understand that we haven't had a bill from Severn Trent or Water Plus since February 2017. And we've gone right through the summer. It just got to be something wrong here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So all I can do is apologise, but you know that we are trying.
Yeah.
I hope, but we will get to the end of it eventually, hopefully. Thank you, Dave. Report from Matt Batram and Centre. Everybody in the audience. Everybody in the audience.
Do you want to see it on your agenda?
Following your question, Mr. Griffin, we got onto Matt Batram and we asked him to come today. He's unfortunately said he couldn't. So he said he would give us a report. We've had to chase him with this, as you probably can imagine. He has committed that he will come in March. That's when he whether we can get his Oppo Luke Carney in.
We don't want
him. I don't know.
We don't want him in February because that's the budget meeting.
No. So this is what he's come up with. We've not altered this, we've not changed it, it's exactly what, all we've done is copied it, so, it is what it is. Has anybody got any comments on it? I know it's not good reading, but.
Yes, just a quickie, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
David.
This former cooperative here, I appreciate the fact that it's a big place and there's not many big retail units want to take it on. But could we not have it done up a bit better than it is? It looks an absolute disgrace to the town, that does.
It is.
Absolute disgrace.
And it's full of pigeons.
I know.
Not belong full of people.
Putting money into it.
Yeah, but it's their property, it's disgraceful how it is at the
No,
moment.
I agree.
Them windows are all dropping out at the top.
The only way they'll do something about it if something falls off it.
And then,
It'll be too late
And
then.
that could be too late, yeah.
We'll finish up with squatters in there.
Well,
Also,
yeah.
you'll set fire to it.
No, yeah.
Oh, he's saying no.
I mean, the statement he's read out here regarding the co-op, I think it's a load of bunkers. They're not even trying, I don't think, is it, Mark? Not trying, and he's got Morrison's application here, which I've got to admit, it is in the catchment area of Eastwood, so, but I know we put a proposal in with regarding, as everybody's read on there, but the sounds of this, he's all for it.
Yeah, that's how it reads.
That's
Yeah.
how it reads, yeah.
And the increase in pubs, how many more flaming pubs do we need in Eastwood?
Well,
He's saying everything's going to leisure and God knows what now, but where's all the shops going to disappear to? Then there'd be nothing in Eastwood.
we might remember it.
That's right.
That's right. He's saying what conversations have had with him. He's saying that's going across. It's not just Eastwood.
No, I understand that.
It's going right across.
Yeah.
Not only Nottingham, but he's going across countrywide. We had that with when we spoke to Alex Khan about the lack of people coming to things like this, and that's now going out right across the country where people aren't doing that. This is what people want, apparently. Robert. I'm sorry, what we did.
Now, one good shop that did disappear, Mr. Mayor, was the loan shop, or whatever they call themselves. The Specsavers are.
Money lenders.
As the back page there, I'm not 100% sure whether public Wi-Fi will bring people into these now. I think so, most of them got. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, it will be coming to Easton, I'm sure.
What the Wi-Fi? Yeah, but I'm not sure whether it'll bring people in.
I'm not sure what, I can't answer that, but Wi-Fi will be coming to
Yeah.
Easton.
Right, Brian, I don't think this answers your question, but it's the best at the moment that we can get to respond and talk to him. Yes, you've got it.
At least give it to do something.
Yeah.
You know, and whereas the information is given us, all of us, is not what we want to read. But, you know, I agree with Councillor. I don't think they're trying hard enough, really, but the public aren't in a position to force them, just like you said about the private car park, it's their property, and, you know, you can't force them, but I do.
Mr. Mayor, is this a public meeting?
No, he asked if this was big and I gave it to him.
I mean, if members of the public...
I gave it to him.
I did have to
Spend all
Wait,
my
wait,
speaking.
I gave it to him, because he asked a question, and that was, the co-op bit was what he asked, so I'm given the opportunity to respond, because we tried to respond to him.
And as I say, I agree with the councillor. If nothing else, just a code of emotion would,
Yeah.
it looks very down.
Right.
And it is central to our town, and
Okay, Brian.
I think it's Metrogate, but I thank you for what you've done.
Okay.
You can't do any more.
All we can do is draft a letter and try and find out who the agents are, and we'll send it off to them, see if they can sign it up. David?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll just come back onto the co-op and my suggestion that maybe we should look at creating a cinema out of the co-op.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people and they think it's such a good idea. I've talked to other people who say it's not big enough. So I'm trying to take that forward to say, could we create a cinema in Eastwood which would do great for the viability of the town. Hopefully somebody will take it up and have a look at it and give me a true representation of if it's possible or if it isn't. But at the biggest place in Eastwood that we have, it would be nice if we could get an entertainment area to bring people in and then go into Eastwood. I'm going on to part B. This Morrison site within town centre, it says it would be very difficult to refuse the buildings. I hope this is just Matt Batterham's opinion. It's certainly not mine. And it will become before committee, so I ask you to bear that in mind.
Yeah. I think all this down here is his. I don't think it's Broxley related or anything like that. I was just thinking that's what he's doing from his...
But he's a business growth manager and he's saying he would find it difficult, but we'll see.
Okay, anything else on that? Reports from town council representatives. Has anybody got anything to come back to? The only thing I've got is the reports that I'm hearing about the light switch on. It was quite a successful evening, very successful. They're telling me there wasn't that many people here, but there was, I thought there was quite a few people here. I will mention this. The only bad thing for me was Broxton Town Mayor late.
What?
Really late.
Late.
I did my speech to turn the lights on. We had the window dressing awards. I kept one of the ladies up to help me push the plunger down. Just standing on the stage on your own. It was pretty embarrassing, really. We pushed the plunger down, the lights all come on. Then she turned up. Bear in mind, she was dropped off in Eastwood at 6:20 outside the TSB.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and that is a genuine time.
I would suggest that you write and express your concerns to Broxton Council. That shouldn't happen. And it's shameful.
It's not professional.
No, it's not.
Can we make a note that we do that?
She had the youth mayor wear it.
She had the youth mayor as well.
She never introduced him either.
Never introduced him.
Then when we did the fireworks, another embarrassing moment really, is that she read out her speech that she was going to do when we did the light switch on at the end. So none of it was.
No.
It was really a bit embarrassing really for somebody in that position to be, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes late when she's only, 100 yards away. So
do you mind if I take that up then?
you can take that up.
I think actually it might be best coming from an ex-mayor.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, and by all accounts, some of the shopkeepers said that she wasn't a particularly nice lady when she went into the shops. One shop she tried to barter with stuff on the shelf, and
I can't fault for that.
Not fault for that.
I do that all the time.
There was some prizes for raffle prizes, and she tried to buy one of the prizes, and the shopkeeper says, "No, you want to, you have to buy a raffle ticket," and she was a bit.
Really?
Yeah. So that's not me making it up. It's some of the shopkeepers that said, "Who was she?" But being late on such a relatively important day was.
It needs addressing. It does need addressing. That's not good. Shouldn't happen.
I know she was dropped off at 6:20.
Right.
All right, that's me having my name. Sorry about that. Matters of concern in the Borough Council. Is there anything?
I've got quite a bit which is going to go on a little bit. So if you don't mind, Chair, I'm going to come after Councillor Woodhead has done his bit and go through.
So you want
go through
so
something
item 14 moved
that I
on
think
after
is
item 16.
pertinent
Fine, okay.
to this council.
Yeah. Done. Matters concerning county council. Dan, have you got anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, good few updates. Firstly, some further afield that they do impinge on us in Eastwood. East Midland Mainline electrification. The government have stopped that. I've wrote a letter to the government minister on that, complaining about the people in our area, because we won't have access to electrification and fast trains to London, like the rest of the country have. Similar vein, HS2, we've also complained about the high bridges and that we're using around Nuttall. I know it's not in Eastwood, but impinges on Nuttall, and they've got to reduce the level of it because it's too unsightly, and it's not fair on people who live around here. Extension of the Robin Hood line, they're on about extending that all the way up to Ollerton and further afield works on. So that is a good thing for people in our area. I've asked for 5 roads to be resurfaced and 5 traffic management schemes to be put forward. I've asked them to have a look at flooding issues on Coach Drive and the bottom end of Mansfield Road. Now the winter's coming and the heavy rain and snow. I've asked them to cut trees back on Old Derby Road. Walker Street subsidence, or whatever it is they say, it's not subsidence, but I've got them to go and have a look at it. They've now put it on a quarterly rota for inspection. They've filled in the potholes and done a carriageway patch outside 80 Walker Street. Walker Street traffic problems in relation to the new school. Been in touch with the school, the head teacher, highways. Does seem to be settling down. I don't know if anybody goes there regularly. I don't know if you know, but I've been told it's now settled down quite a bit. But I've requested one of the vans that the CCTV use for the county council, just to check to make sure that it is being used sensibly by the parents when they're picking the children up, and teachers, of course.
How you finding it? Sorry, Tony. How you finding it, Dave? Because you live in that area, don't you? Same as you, Claire. How you finding it?
Well, no disrespect to Mr. Hart, but Councillor Hart, I should say. I'd already beaten you to it, to tell you, I'm afraid. I'd been, the third day was open, I was there. Yeah. And I rang Notts County Council and the headmistress at the school. They sent letters out to the parents of the pupils. And Notts County Council promised me it would send an unmarked vehicle round periodically to check up everything was going all right. And I've noticed since then the traffic warden's up and down there quite a few times as well. So yes, it's quite settled down quite good now.
I think it's something we need to keep our eye on.
Yeah, oh yes, yes.
Very quickly making a note on that, I think you'll find that a lot of people have gone to different routes now, because it was just a blockade, it was costing people time, and a lot of people have found different routes to go. Even through the centre of Eastwood is quicker than going along Walker Street now at school time.
Well, at least it's quite dense. Anything else, Dave?
Yeah, the footpath next to the Victory Club, the wall was in a dangerous position. I got the county council to look at it, but there's a problem as to find out who the ownership of that wall is. I don't know if anybody can help in it.
Is that been sorted? Yeah,
that's Michael now, I'm doing that.
Yeah, that's been sorted.
Yeah.
The fence, the concrete fence will actually belong to the people who are building the properties. They are going to take it down and rebuild it. It's not far from that truth.
I have to say that's the latest, and it's come from the footpaths people in at the county council. And Mr. Gregory was given some good advice on that, and they're now told that it is their problem to take it down and replace it, and if it's not, it will go to building control and it will go to court. Simple as.
Okay, so yeah, that's sorted.
And then the footpath between Walker Street and Garden Road, which Bob raised with me, I understand they've been and inspected it, had a look at it, and on about cleaning it up and sorting it out, making it wider. Speeding cars on Mansfield Road, I've requested cameras, I've had a petition put together and served it on the Highways Department. Again, speeding on Mill Road, again I've requested cameras on there. Residents parking on Queen's Road North outside. Again, we've done a petition which I've delivered on, served on the Highways Department, and they're currently looking at that one with a view to doing something positive on it. Closure of Nottingham Road, as you're all aware, the Severn Trent were going to close Nottingham Road at this time, the busiest time of the year. That's now been put back to January.
On that, I must note that that they're pumping out the sewer really
Every day
now, nearly every day now.
Yeah.
It's a health hazard.
So they are pumping it out, and
Every day.
I was walking down by the Hollies, going to it was last Monday, and they were pumping it out there, and it absolutely smelled something chronic. So that is verging on being a major health issue, that is.
Well, if it becomes a major health hazard, then we don't get a say in it anyway. It goes straight to the Severn Trent. They get a court order, they do it straight away. It gets to such a stage.
Chair, I have to admit I talked to Stacks and whatever his shop's called today.
That's the story, we have a bucket shop, phone shop.
And he was quite happy that it's been cancelled because of his business. I mean, it seems money overrides health and issue. Next door he didn't know. He said it gets pumped out every day. It's come past it tonight, he was pumping it out tonight.
Yeah, I saw it.
So, you know, I hold my hands up and say, well, he said it was first reported in March. He said, so another 4 to 6 weeks ain't going to make no difference to me.
Yeah.
Although I said it's going in next door. Yeah, it is, he said, it's going in the basement next door.
Well, it's going to spread into it, and it's going to take a lot of money to clean all that all.
Absolutely.
Fanny, sorry.
Yeah, Bailey Grove, I've been asked by residents to look at a feasibility study for traffic lights on there. Lorries parking on 3 Tons Road, it's a real problem on there, and we've had a lot of complaints about that. We've looked at anything we can do from borough and county council, there isn't, so I've put it in the hands of the police, Inspector Wright, and he's going to start prosecuting people who park on there, because that's the only avenue left to us. Try not to go down that route, but if all else fails, then that's all we can do.
There's obstruction. No.
Yeah, just one quick query. We're talking about roads, and this was going on in Councillor Longman's time, and it's obviously come onto the shoulders of the new councillor. Lincroft Road free roller coaster is still there. Nobody does anything about it. We've got potholes filled, and that hole now, there's 2 holes in Lincroft. It's been there for 3 years, God knows how long, and still it's not even coming into his
yeah, well, it's actually on the agenda.
I haven't finished yet.
I was waiting for Tony to bring it up. You don't, I will.
It's on the agenda as including Lincroft, and I have reported that, and I have put it in for, well, it can't be potholes. Well, they may try and do that, try and
It's not potholes, it's sinking.
But the road is sinking. You can't just fill potholes and say, yeah, it's fine. You can't do that.
Well, that's what they've done. They continually chucked a bit of look at it,
yeah, but that's
and hopefully that the cars will not notice.
Outside number 25, you've got 1.5 square. That's allegedly been filled in, and that has been, but it's sunk again. If I'm right, it is mine shafts entrances all along that road, and that's your problem.
Well, we have to say, Chair, that we've let it on his agenda, and we'll keep
because I did aim in Croft regularly, and it's a nightmare. Just have a drive down. It's terrible, and it's very narrow, so you've got to get in the middle of it, and you can't avoid any of it.
I've asked the chairman of Highways, John Cotty, to come with me to see it, and he's agreed to come and view it, so I'll show it to him in person.
Can we just take the car first? Then pull
on a sledge. Then finally, Mr. Mayor, the thing you reported to me about the bus shelter on Wellington Place, and I mentioned it to Susan about it as well, because obviously you work down there. You come out to Wellington Place, and as you're rightly raised, you look right, and you can't see anything because there's an advert straight in front of you. So I reported that. They came out to look at it. I went with them. I showed them how dangerous it was. So now they've got plans to push it back. I think you mentioned it, Bob. They're going to push it back about 5 feet and rebuild it. And they say, I've tried to pin them down to a date. They say it will definitely be done by March the 11th.
They pushed that forward a few years ago.
We did.
Yeah.
What about the road service in that area?
The pavements, I presume you all walk down there, you'll see a guttering blocks in the middle of the pavement, so the pavement slopes down like a V, and in the bottom are guttering bricks and blocks. And as you, Mr. Mayor, pointed out to me, they're all coming loose, they're a trip hazard, they're dangerous, you could break your ankle on them, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough for Eastwood Town Centre for shoppers to put up with that. So I put in, said that it had got to be done. So they came back to me and said, no, it's fine, can't find anything wrong with it.
Well, I was gone to Laura Trussell last year, or whatever it was, and I asked them to, when their inspector comes out once a month, he comes out and has a look. I said, contact me and I'll walk up the road with him. But they never did.
Yeah.
But I would assume that it's like the roots of trees, you've got to be certain criteria high before that becomes a trip hazard, but they're all loose.
But that's not good enough.
No, it isn't.
That's not good enough for our main shopping centre. So I've told them I want a site visit with them. I've reported it to John Cotty, who's the chair of Highways, and he's having a meeting with the Highways specifically on the issue of the pavement on Nottingham Road.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And apart from that, it's Greasley's Christmas full, so there's no questions, I'll disappear.
We can generate them for another hour.
Could you let Chris have that report, please?
Very much, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
We're back now.
Right. We're bringing David's after the exclusion of public and press, so exclusion of public and press, that under section 100A of the Local Government Act, Article 72, the public and press be excluded from the meeting of one of our items going to involve local disclosure of exempt information as defined in the paragraphs 1 and 9 of the schedule 12A of the Act. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Should have said that first. Can I just, anybody want a break?
Yeah, I think it's a total.